If the note business is important to you and you have one destination, one trip to make this fall, where would it be? Stay tuned. Well, thanks for joining us today for this week's edition of Note School TV. We are super excited to have you with us today. And, well, we are going to talk about Note Expo today. But before we do that, I want to ask you for three things. Number one, make sure, and if you have not already done so, make sure and hit that like button, showing us that you like and love what we do here at Note School TV. Number two, hit that subscribe button if you have not already done so. And number three, make sure and hit that bell notification. Yes, go ahead and hit it. Boom, right now, so that you will be have advance notice every week before we go live. Also, do us a huge favor, and that is keep those comments and questions coming into us, guys. It gives Eddie and I lets us know what you guys are thinking and your reaction to the guest we have, to the time-sensitive news and everything that we're getting out there. So please just keep us in mind there. Hit those comments and let us know how we're doing and what your thoughts are. And if you would like more information about what we do at Note School, simply go to noteschool.com/TV. Again, noteschool.com/TV. And we'd love to get you into one of our Note School classes. And let me tell you, our motto here at Note School is we are going to show you how you can close more deals. We're not going to tell you how. We're going to show you how to close more deals. So with that, let's go to the news. So, in the news this week, we all know that, well, last week, the Federal Open Market Committee met, and they voted to raise the federal funds rate by 75 basis points, 0.75%. And even though there's not a direct correlation, well, the interest rates are, well, as you can see, let me get my pen going right here. You can see that rates just spiked at 6.87%, so they are closing in on 7%. And we've been talking about, guys, so it comes down to, a couple things. One, the biggest is affordability. And it also comes into with our mortgage credit availability index as of September 13th, which is the latest date. You can see that, well, we're at 108.3 on that. You can see before the pandemic, we were way up here. Pretty much you could get a loan, right? So this is steadily moved, had a downward motion, and 4 or 5 months ago, it was up here in the mid 120s, hovered around 125 to 126. So this just means that it is because of affordability with interest rates raising and all of those things that, well, it is what it is, guys. It's a little bit harder for folks to qualify for a loan. And by the way, even a 5-year adjustable ARM, the interest rate on that is almost 5% today. And that's always been quite a bit lower. But yeah, it's a lot going on. And then finally, Home Flipper Open Door hit with losses in echo of Zillow collapse. Company lost money on 42% of its August resales after it failed to anticipate a slide in housing demand. So, yep, housing demand is going down because of affordability. So, there's a lot going on here, and we could certainly do our normal show this week on the monthly update, but we'll save it all for next time. But anyway, so just stay plugged in, stay with us, and we'll work you through this, right? So with that, I am going to bring on our Note School founder, our Chief Innovation Officer, all around good guy, my friend, Mr. W. Eddie Speed.
Hey, Joe.
How are you? What do you think, man? What do you think about all this stuff?
Well, I think it's I mean, for us, we've been watching the rate trend for a while. We are fairly connected to some guys that, I think deal with it at a magnum level. So we're looking for rates to continue to rise. And it's a changing market, and the changing market is going to equal either opportunity or crisis. Those that can't adjust are going to experience crisis. Those that can adjust are going to experience terrific opportunity. And that is exactly why in the first weekend of November that they need to be at Note Expo, because it's going to land right in the middle where the rubber meets the road, right? I believe, Joe, this is our 11th year.
Yes.
I believe that this year may be the most critical year and the most critical time that we've seen in literally, and I'm not kidding, 11 years in the business, because the market changes are hitting now. They weren't hitting necessarily in June.
Right.
Things were getting weird in June, but they're hitting right now. And so the market conclusions and the clarity to it, I think, are going to be a direct result of that. So I think that there's no doubt that is a big factor. And so I think that's the case. Let's put some slides up there, Joe. I want to talk a little bit about some of the speakers.
Yes, absolutely. And Eddie, we're going to talk about our speakers. I'm going to hold my comment here for just a minute here. So, Eddie, we start at, at 8:30 on Friday the 4th, and you're going to get up and talk a little bit about we're going to have the Lifetime Achievement Award. And guys, I don't even know who that is myself this year, so I can't spill the beans there.
Yeah.
But Eddie, you're going to bring up our keynote speaker and this fella right here, Cade Thompson. Talk a little bit about Cade and his business savvy in the note space, and what he means to Note School and the Note School community.
Well, I think Cade's relevance. Cade is a dear personal friend of mine.
Right.
We have done business with Cade and his companies for years and years and years. Cade is responsible for, in his prior company, Cade's company created about 80,000 seller finance transactions. 80,000. Okay. I mean, not 8,000, not 800. So does he understand our space? And he does really well. Cade works for a Wall Street firm, and they are very big in the space of originating mortgages and doing mortgage-backed securities. And Cade is going to be able to share with us, kind of from a Wall Street perspective, where we are in the market and where we are in the cycle, and kind of where the projections are as far as where that goes. They are of a significant level of impact in the market. They own literally a very large percentage of the reverse mortgages in the United States. And so Cade is going to do a great job of kind of helping us start the event out with kind of the market situation. And
Eddie,
because that matters. Let me tell you something. I have buddies that get on Facebook all the time and have these hot sports opinions. If I want to know what the market's really going to do, I call that cat right there.
That's right. That's what he is one of your, our trusted advisors for sure.
For sure.
And to have him there this year is, I've heard him speak in the past. He's probably 5 or 6 years ago we had Cade in. And amazing speaker, amazing guy, but he's got his pulse on the industry, and he's our go-to guy for that. Yeah. So Eddie, Ron Eccles is he's our host this year, our MC. So share with us a little bit about what Ron is going to bring to the table here as he navigates us through.
Ron Eccles actually is a chiropractor.
I know, right?
But I've known Ron for years. Ron has emceed and been involved in some of the biggest real estate investor events out there. And so he is a very good friend of ours. He brings a level of energy to an audience that, let me just say, it's impactful. And that's why he's been invited to speak at so many events, and he will be our MC. And he is an impact player, and you will get that. You will definitely get that. And his insights and his unique perspective of our industry is very good. And he's definitely a fan of what we do. So it's not like we just invite him just because he's a good MC. He's actually deeply interested and involved in our industry and what's trending in the market. So Ron Eccles, Dr. Ron Eccles, I've never gotten him to adjust me. He didn't practice being a chiropractor.
My father-in-law, my wife's dad was a chiropractor, called him the bone crusher. And but Eddie, we're bringing folks in like this year. I mean, he's also known as the success doctor, right? Yeah. And we're wanting to get this real estate right here, right? We get to get
if you don't get your head right, you don't get anything else right. In fact, I'm guessing you're leading to our next slide, right?
There you go.
Pat Precourt is the head guy for the top 500 house buyers in the business.
Right.
And he is, if I ever need somebody to help me get my head where it needs to be, to get out of my own way and to not stop listening to those little voices that are telling me what I can't do.
Right.
Honestly, this is the guy that I'll call. And love this dude. He has just really, 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 he comes to us with a perspective of how do you address the biggest barrier in your business. And the biggest barrier in your business, Joe, is right here.
That's right.
And it's in all of our businesses. And so he is going to be a speaker and really talk about that. And great guy, was captain of the American rugby team for about 12 years, and pretty tough guy. But the best heart of any person I believe I've ever known. So my buddy Pat Precourt.
That's for sure. In his off time, Eddie, he hangs out with one of the former commanders of SEAL Team 6 too.
That is a fact. It is absolutely a fact. Yeah.
So Eddie, you happen to be in DC, Washington DC, last week with the Seller Finance Coalition, and so Jeff Watson, one of our speakers, actually, he's going to be one of our speakers, and he's on one of the panels, and we'll talk a little more about Matt Keelan and so on in just a minute. But so give us a little update on what happened in DC.
Well, we are definitely going to have a panel at Note Expo about the Seller Finance Coalition and this bill that we believe is the closest that we've ever been to getting traction on this, to get it done. And we're pretty excited about it. Jeff Watson is specifically going to speak on a subject that I think is very, very, very industry important. And that is he's going to address the legal issues relative to sub-twos.
Yes.
Joe, there's about 20 states that have some pretty high restrictions in what you can do with a borrower relative to a sub-two transaction, and restrictions of what you absolutely cannot do.
Right.
And so this is an opportunity for Jeff to really take a deep dive and really address this. I have been asked by a lot of high volume real estate investors. And so Jeff actually was going to go a little different direction. And we agreed, after being together over the last week, that the timing and the opportunity to go really get the truth out there is better than it's ever been. So Jeff Watson will speak on that. And obviously he's on the he's a founder board with me on the Seller Finance Coalition. So he'll obviously be on that as well. So
absolutely. So Eddie, Mike Hambright.
Mike Hambright lives here in Dallas-Fort Worth. He owns a mastermind called Investor Fuel,
right?
Which is a couple of hundred top real estate investors in the business, and then he is partners and CEO of a company called Investor Machine, and I believe, Joe, that they dropped over 15 million pieces of mail for their clients last year. Real estate investor clients. So they run a list provider service, and they drop mail for their clients that buy properties, that buy houses. And they are a premier company that does that. And you are going to get an incredible information about what they do and how they do it and what they find, what their results are, what they find in the marketplace. Yeah. I get to hear this stuff because I'm in a lot of these masterminds, but if you guys aren't deeply involved in that, I just would tell you that it will change your perspective completely about who is likely to sell a property and what their motivation is and will terms work, right?
Yeah. And Eddie, guys, you didn't hear Eddie incorrectly. He did say 15 million plus pieces of mail a year. So This is the guy that, you can certainly learn a whole bunch from somebody like Mike and his team for sure.
Good cat, good guy. I love this guy, but he is definitely an A-level player. We haven't had anybody on this list yet that isn't an A player, but
no,
he definitely fits that category.
That's for sure. Well, let's talk about this guy, George Newberry, and after this, we're going to run a little commercial for Note School or for Note Expo. But before we do, let's talk about George and his company and what that pre-REO and AHP servicing.
So George is a non-performing note specialist. He's been in the industry for years. They have a fund. They raise money and buy assets. They have a platform, and they sell assets. And Joe, they have about 1,000 non-performing notes on their platform.
They do.
And they also provide financing for people to buy non-performing notes.
They do.
And so George will be a big impact player in listening, like where they see the market trending and availability of inventory, and really just like at the ground floor of what's going on in the business. You guys will enjoy listening to a true non-performing note expert, George Newberry.
And, Eddie, I was talking we were on one of our Deal Lab calls yesterday, and we were talking about George and pre-REO, and one of our students had just had funded part of a 75% of the purchase of an NPL, did it in like 7 days.
Yeah. So
it's a deal, and we've been talking about NPLs, and so I can't wait to hear George and then meet his team there in the capital marketplace. We'll talk a little bit more about what that looks like after this commercial here. But why don't we go ahead and run the commercial, and then we'll go through the rest of this.
Let's do it. Note Expo.
We are at Note Expo.
It's amazing.
Phenomenal.
It's
just fantastic.
It's like recharging my batteries. I get enthused again. I meet a lot of other people in the business. I get a lot of ideas.
Connections. I've made so many friends over the years of high-level investors, high-level business people.
You get out here and see people who are doing things on a level you're not there yet. So that inspires me.
It's been a great event. Lots of good people, lots of opportunities to network, lots of education, and the vendors are great.
Meeting all the people here from all over the country, wanting to know about notes.
And then the networking is just crazy.
All these people has just been stunning.
It's like coming home to a family. And there's a lot of smart people here, and everybody's welcome in. It's always good seeing familiar faces.
I'm sure it's going to empower me and lead to much better growth.
And there really is no other place you can go to figure out what's going on, like in the guts of the industry.
We're already registered, so we have put our money down.
That's it. Note Expo. Gotta be there.
That is the place to be, Eddie. That's exciting stuff, man. Exciting. I remember doing that last Note Expo like it was yesterday, actually.
Yeah.
So, Eddie, let's talk about this gentleman here, Mr. McBroom. He measured result. I think I would call him the CPA to the real estate ninjas, right?
He is a CPA, but his practice is about creative tax strategies or creative things that you can do. And I will tell you, he has personally affected me and some of my ideas and directions that I'm able to do. And so I just am really thrilled that he's coming. And I will tell you that he's going to bring some creative strategies to your tax management in a way that your local tax guy's not telling you these things. I just can almost be 100% certain about that. So you're going to enjoy it.
In this climate that we have right now, knowing somebody that can help you navigate through all of this tax stuff is it's going to be it's going to be critical. It's going to be critical
about it.
So I can't wait to hear Byron as well. Eddie, Matt Keelan, he is he's a lobbyist for the Seller Finance Coalition. So let's talk about a little bit about that.
Well, the reason that Seller Finance Coalition has had the success that we've had is that we started out picking the right lobbyist. And I will tell you, I've picked wrong lobbyists before, and I'm just saying this guy's a rock star. He has been on the top 10 list of best lobbyists in Washington, D.C. Yeah. And he is just a connected guy and a good cat, and just has done so much for our seller finance industry. I could not start to tell you how meaningful this guy has been to the business. And so he's going to come and moderate a panel for the Seller Finance Coalition, and I think it's going to be a lean-in moment. And there's just a lot of impact there that Matt Keelan is going to be able to share with you.
And so we have a number of other speakers, Eddie, as we go through the day. But I think we've kind of shown these folks here the caliber of people that we're going to have. Let's talk about the other side of this. Let's talk about the community. Let's talk about our sponsors and the capital marketplace. And my favorite thing is the lunches and the cocktail reception on Friday afternoon. Guys, I think that's where.
Let me give you guys a perspective. This is a picture that was taken last year.
Yes, it was.
This was a picture that was taken the first virus that the first conference the Note industry had since the virus had started. And we still had over 450 people. And let me just tell you, this is why you come. You come for a population of meeting people, greeting old friends, connections, ideas, just energy. That's why you come, and there is nothing else to say. That is what this is. So let's talk about the capital markets place, Joe. I think there's a
look
slide
at this.
there.
Yeah, this is this guys, everybody that people that you are going to do business with on a weekly basis are going to be represented. This is where you meet those folks that you've talked on the phone with for several years and you've never got to meet face to face. And this is where it all happens. This is the business right there. And Eddie, give us some perspective on that.
Well, I mean, what do you need a vendor for?
Right.
You need a vendor to service loans. Do you need a vendor to go deal with houses that need to be secured? Do you need a vendor that can go put insurance on a house somewhere because you're buying a delinquent mortgage? Do you need, do you need legal services? Like what is it that you need to represent your business well? And you just need the right vendor. And so we have been very, very careful to invite the right vendors. And this is just a snippet. This shot you see here is just a snippet of the vendors. There's going to be well over 30 of them that all do all kind of different things in the business. And not only are they vendors that would want to come to a trade show, they are vendors that are recognized industry vendors that we've dealt with. This is a vetted group, Joe.
Yes, it is. And, these guys are invitation only, right? We invite the top folks there. You've got FNAC, First National Acceptance Corporation, Note Buyer, SN Servicing over here in their trade desk, Paper Stack right over here. And I just circled old Jack Cruppy. Eddie, we've been friends with Jack for a long time. Hedge fund manager, right?
Yeah. Jack's in the capital marketplace, and there'll be vendors of every type: note buyers, servicers, all kind of service providers that really make our business go well. They allow us to do the business that doesn't require our boots on the ground to go do it. So let's look at another picture here, Joe.
Yeah, this is, and that room, Eddie, was packed to the gills. That's a big room. I marked it on that first shot. I mean, there were people back in this area here, the standing room only.
Oh yeah, no, it's look. This is of a trade show. Yeah, how about lunch there, right? How about lunch in the capital markets place?
Yeah,
where we'll have lunches and you'll be right there with the vendors, and we create a lot of environment around engagement with the people that are here that are these vendors, because we've learned that that's when the conversations really happen. Oh, I didn't know you could do that. Oh, I talked to somebody else and they said come see you because you've done a great job for them. So there's no question about it. We have placed the highest value on putting a significant audience together and a meaningful audience together. Yeah. So Note Expo, that we'll have the information here in the link. Let me just say this. Joe said it in the beginning. We're going to end with another commercial, but Joe said it in the beginning, right? He said it in his opening. If you're in the note industry, if you're a real estate investor, knowing that creative financing is either been in your past or is definitely in your future, and you had one single thing to go do this year, one single place to go this fall,
yep,
it has to be Note Expo.
Yes, Eddie, and the thing that we hear, and this is the Note School team from last year's, part of the Note School's team from last year's 2021 event. And Eddie, we have built in so many different areas or times, with plenty of food, ice cream breaks, lunches, but it's time to connect. It's time to get into the community and learn. This is not just Note School. This is an industry. It's the biggest industry note event there is at this point. And we're so proud of it and what we've been able to achieve with this thing. And it just gets better every year. And I agree, right? If you want to learn what's now and what's going to be into the future, we're going to actually have this fellow right here. He's going to give us a talk about non-performing notes and how to get more involved in that as well. Max.
Yeah, that is a picture of our Note School team, and we're honored. As you can kind of see, it's not just the Joe and Eddie show, right? A lot of support that goes behind this. Crazy amount of experience standing there on that stage. That stage represents at least $3.5 billion worth of closed note transactions. Yeah. So that might experience sometimes matters, Joe. So Joe, we're going to wrap it up today. Let's wrap it up with just really a commercial again and talk about what Note Expo, what these people are experiencing, and why we want you to know that Note Expo is, we devoted a show to it because it's really, seriously, it's that important. And it's that important that if you're interested in this business, you got to be here.
That is for sure. And guys, 37 days away. We're going to run the commercial here to wrap it up today. Note Expo 2022, Note Expo 2022. Go there, get your tickets. Early bird pricing is still available. We're 37 days away. So, just you need to get it, and you need to get in there. And we can't wait to see you and introduce you to the group, right? All right, so we're going to finish it up. Thanks so much for joining us today. We are super excited about this, and we're super excited about seeing you guys at Note Expo 2022. Thanks so much. We'll wrap it up with the commercial. We are at Note Expo.
It's amazing.
Phenomenal.
Just fantastic.
It's like recharging my batteries. I get enthused again. I meet a lot of other people in the business. I get a lot of ideas.
Connections. I've made so many friends over the years of high-level investors, high-level business people.
You get out here and see people who are doing things on a level you're not there yet. So that inspires me.
It's been a great event. Lots of good people, lots of opportunities to network, lots of education, and the vendors are great.
Meeting all the people here from all over the country, wanting to know about notes.
And then the networking is just
all
crazy.
these people has just been stunning.
It's like coming home to a family. And there's a lot of smart people here, and everybody's welcome in. It's always good seeing familiar faces.
I'm sure it's going to empower me and lead to much better growth.
And there really is no other place you can go to figure out what's going on, like in the guts of the industry.
We're already registered, so we have put our money down.